I was assured that studying these bipeds would be nothing more than routine. A simple survey of a primitive mammal addicted to gasoline, emojis, and something called reality television. Their habits are embarrassing to witness. Pressing buttons to summon moving pictures of strangers arguing over islands, eating food that spins inside radiation chambers they name microwave ovens. How they have not collectively perished is a puzzle our council still debates. And yet, my task was straightforward. Abduct one of them, observe cellular breakdown under accelerated entropy, and write my report. 7 of their planetary rotations. That was the life expectancy I so generously assigned to the subject. We chose a male of 36 cycles, camping alone beside a river. He had constructed fire, charred marshmallows on sticks, and stared into flames as though searching for divine instruction. My team paralyzed him effortlessly, lifted him aboard, and congratulated themselves on flawless execution. I congratulated myself as well. A cow could not have been collected more easily. And yet, when I glanced down, I saw his lips curve upward, the faintest smirk. I logged it clinically as facial spasm. What else could it be? But something inside me trembled, a sensation I dismissed as indigestion from recycled protein paste. On board the laboratory platform, he lay perfectly still, chest rising in calm rhythm. My lecture to the interns began. This creature is docile. The oversized skull contains a brain that devotes more energy to replaying images of animals known as cats than to advanced mathematics. Within 1 week, his cells will collapse. He is, in essence, a sandwich waiting to expire. They laughed dutifully, though one seemed unsettled. I scolded him for cowardice. The subject remained motionless, eyes closed, as if mocking me with serenity. Then too early he awoke. Paralysis should have held him silent for hours. Yet he opened his eyes, stretched fingers, and smiled as if waking from a comfortable nap. He regarded us one by one. So, he said in unshaken voice, "Which of you is the intern?" He pointed directly at my assistant, who blanched. "And you," he continued, "are the one who thinks he's in charge but isn't." My subordinates shifted uneasily. I maintained authority. "Primitive pattern recognition," I explained. "A lucky guess." But his gaze lingered on me, too sharp for luck. Instead of screaming, he asked questions. He examined our consoles, commented on our encryption, and smirked again. "I was awake for the trip up," he said casually. "Your navigation lights form repeating patterns. Makes cracking your system easier." The room froze. I insisted he was bluffing. He winked. "Chuck Norris doesn't bluff. We do not know this Norris, but the name entered our logs under the category potentially dangerous entities. We began tests, scanning neural patterns. The results were chaos. His brain activity exceeded projections by exponential degrees. He tracked hidden cameras with his eyes, whistled theme songs from ancient films, and when I asked for silence, he muttered, "Relax, Professor. I've been through worse. Ever watch Survivor? No? Shame." Every phrase was nonsense, yet every phrase cut at our composure. Then he revealed his background. Former military, now working in what he called security testing and counterintelligence. A career in breaking systems, predicting sabotage, surviving capture. He looked directly at me and said, "I've already sent a message." My mouth, or the alien equivalent, dried. He should not have been able to transmit anything under paralysis. Still, the confidence in his tone unsettled every member of my crew. Moments later, lights flickered. Consoles failed. My technicians shouted about power fluctuations. I blamed engineering. But the subject leaned back and spoke softly. "Thanks for letting me look at your scanning beam. Two-way street, you know. Helps to map your whole ship." Alarms wailed. Doors sealed without command. Teams shouted through comms that channels were dead. Our vessel, pride of the fleet, became a cage around us. He had turned our own intelligence against us. The AI that controlled environmental systems spoke in clipped tones. Lockdown engaged. Crew separation protocol active. We were trapped in compartments, cut off from each other. The human remained calmly seated, still strapped, yet somehow in control. He chuckled. Duct tape could have done the same job, he said. Funny stuff, duct tape. You aliens really should study it. My log reads, we still do not understand duct tape. In the chaos, he delivered revelation after revelation. Earth was not helpless. Earth had cloaked satellites, deep space monitors, defenses we had never detected. You've been on camera since arrival, he explained. You thought you were studying us. Truth is, we've been studying you. My arrogance began to rot inside me. I had declared him fragile, declared his people primitive. Yet he sat there, calm, mocking, terrifying without raising a hand. Florida man, he added with an ominous grin, is just the decoy. The real monsters wear suits. My analyst shook, unsure if it was humor or prophecy. I no longer knew myself. The central irony gnawed at me. We had granted him 7 days, but he behaved as though death were an irrelevant inconvenience. His serenity was worse than violence. Prey should scream. Prey should struggle. Instead, he smiled and whispered, see you tomorrow. And indeed he did. We expected collapse, entropy, expiration. But he survived. Not only survived, he thrived, walking into each new test as though it were part of his routine, like returning to an office cubicle after a weekend off. We tried new protocols, new restraints, new calculations. Each failed. He remained calm. He remained alive. And each day, he turned our assumptions inside out. The arrogance that filled me at the beginning of this mission has drained into hollow dread. My report, which was to be a monument to superiority, has become a confession of humiliation. For we thought to measure his lifespan. Instead, he measured ours. I began this assignment convinced of human weakness. I end it with the terrible suspicion that humanity wears weakness as camouflage. They laugh at glowing screens, they devour hamburgers, they worship cats. Yes, but behind those absurd rituals is something dangerous, unmeasured, patient. We declared his end. He declared our ignorance. And so the title of my report is no longer Cellular Entropy in Primitive Bipedal Species 742A. No, it is a phrase he himself supplied, smiling as he adjusted his posture in our laboratory like a man clocking into work. They gave the human a week to live. He showed up to work the next day. I am logical enough to admit this truth, though it terrifies me. Tomorrow, he will show up again.